Recovered Addict Podcast here
What
in
up,
the
Jay?
house. What's up, Duane?
Yeah,
You
much
got the
brother.
coffee kicking?
Yeah, it's already, the sun's going down, but I'm still putting down the caffeine.
That's how it is here. So the other day I'm driving in my car and we're going to get right into it. This will be great. And I know we talked about this offline. So the other day I'm driving in my car and I'm working a scenario in my head that I just had a conversation with. It's kind of my boss. We're like all bosses together, in this, he's a little bit ahead of me, but I'm running a scenario in my head about how I'm going to have a conversation with him, how I'm quitting the job, how I'm going to be done, how fuck him and fuck these two other people. And no one sees how much I'm working 7 days a week. No one understands all the shit I'm doing. No one cares, not even him. He doesn't care either. And the other person, the other job, he doesn't care. And I am getting red in the face. At one moment, I almost felt like I wanted to cry, and I'm explaining myself. Next moment, I'm like super ragey angry when I'm driving and I hit the steering wheel. Third time, I'm like, I need to start looking for another job, and I'm going to find even 10 times better job than this job. I'm going to be badass. I want to talk today because this is funny. I just experienced this. How addicts are addicted to negativity. And then we're addicted, and I want to call this because I think it's really important because this is what fucked us up in our life. How we choose harmful thoughts.
Very, very interesting. This one is such a great topic to discuss, Jay, because it's got everybody dead to rights. It's like no person on planet Earth does not deal with obsessive thinking. Stinking thinking is what we like to call it. It's like I waste countless hours in my head surrounding scenarios that probably will never even happen ever.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Well, I remember you talked about with this to me one time. You were saying, with a previous job that you had, you were talking about how, the boss was probably mad at you.
Bro, I was constantly afraid of getting fired, and I was absolutely the best employee they had. Like, I was hands down fucking light years ahead of other employees at that location, and I was always arguing in my head with my boss about, no, don't fire me. No, please, I'm sorry, I wouldn't. And, this is a great topic to dive into in regards to the addiction to negative thought.
Well, the thing that caught me is I really caught on to this, and I'm so grateful, of our conversations, the thing that we've done with the podcast. And I want people to understand this isn't an addict's brain because I'm savoring a bitter pill I know is going to make me sick. I'm just doing it in my head and my thought, but I'm doing the same thing. With me, my food addiction, it's like, I know eating 2 Big Macs, having a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts and 6 tacos from Taco Bell, I'm going to be sick to my stomach and be shitting my brains out, but I do it anyways.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. You knew this, you're at a ski resort, one of the most beautiful places in the United States. What did you decide to do? Let me get blacked out drunk and fucking hurt myself.
Yeah.
It's a bitter pill, and it's going to make you sick, but what do? We do
it anyways. I'll take 2. Yeah, the joke about being an addict is, hey, we just developed this pill. If you take this pill, you won't want to partake in your addiction anymore. You won't want your addiction anymore. And, we're the only people that say, well, what happens if you take 2 of the pills? And it's the same with our thoughts. It's the same with our negative thinking. And it can very easily spiral out of control, especially if I'm unconscious, unaware that I'm partaking in destructive, negative thinking. I think we want to go a little evolutional psychology to start, Jay, here, just in regards to some of the creation of thoughts, period. Why are human beings the superior race on the planet? Why can we plan for the future? Why can we understand the idea of sacrifice? Where did that all come from? And it's something like 250,000 to 300,000 years ago, human beings' frontal lobe, the neocortex, grew by 20%. There was a 20% increase in our neurological capacity that took place in the neocortex, the new brain, the frontal lobe. Now, that probably happened because of the first ape obsessed with fire. And that first ape obsessed with fire learned how to cook protein. And so we probably, there are many theories. One theory is we were exposed to higher contents of protein. And so parts of us started to turn on that weren't ever on before. So we were consuming higher quality nutrition. The increase in cortical space was so large that as an evolutionary necessity, the human brain had to fold in on itself. That's why our brain has the folds that it has now. If the cranium grew 20%, also, women's birthing canals would have had to have been so large, so wide, that they couldn't outrun predators. So it was an evolutionary necessity that the brain's growth took place as a result of increased protein and then folded in on itself as a result of survival. So that increased 20% in the neocortex, that's what gives us the capacity to think. That's what gives us the capacity to plan for the future. That's what gives us the capacity to share a meal. Other animals don't share a meal. They feed. And the dominant one goes first. Everybody else, wait your fucking turn. And so it makes us the dominant race on the planet, the dominant species on the planet. However, that has gotten out of control, especially when it comes to unconscious negative stuff.
You feel like when emotion, I understand it's bad for me. I get that. I know it drains me. Like spiritually, I can feel it drains me. And it fills my body with stress. Like it makes my heart race, my head, like I told you, my head was all like red. And I know I crave peace. I really, really do. But it pulls me away from that. But still, I allow myself, and I want to use the word allow because I think it's really important. I allow myself to fantasize. And when I caught on to that word, I was like, I'm fantasizing about these emotions. I'm letting them seep into my body and my mind as if I'm addicted to them. It's almost like a sexual addiction where there's like this, I want my boss to be mad at me. I want to be in trouble. I want to have to go defend for my life, and say, and what exact words am I going to say? I want that this person, I walk into work and this person's not talking to me and I don't know why.
Very good. Very good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now we get into the, go ahead, Jim,
why is this, why am I at the machine and this person normally says, hi, Duane, and they don't say hi to me today? You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, I fantasize about that. And so then it just gives me an excuse to start running the hamster wheel. But I realize that I don't have to be addicted to something like a substance. I don't have to have the craving that I can see.
It doesn't have to be a physical bottle. Yes.
There is an addiction that's quieter. It's hidden beneath the surface of our lives, I think. And that addiction that I have is to negative thoughts. And the emotion, I'm addicted to the emotion they bring.
Yeah, very good. The chemical reaction that takes place in the body from the thoughts. That's unbeknownst to us, I would imagine. That's what we get addicted to initially. It's like, I don't understand why I'm having these negative thoughts all the time. And we just explained it's only partly personal. One part is, okay, I had an experience with the person at the Coke machine. That's my personal experience. The other component that's not personal is, well, this is 300,000 years of evolution. And for a long time, we survived worrying, where's the predator? Where's the predator? Where's the predator? We're hardwired to think, look out for the predator. So now in the modern world, that's not necessary. It's not necessary. There's one of the famous quotes that I love, we talk about this all the time, is there's no tiger in the room. There is no tiger in this room.
I use that as an affirmation.
Good, absolutely.
There's no tiger in the room here.
Why is my body having an energetic response as if there was a tiger in the room? I'm
Yeah, that's good.
sweating, my vasodilation, my muscles are getting tight, I'm tense, and I'm in my safe, warm bed at night, arguing with my boss in my head. Like, there's no tiger in the room. Why am I having a response to a predator? So that's the piece, that's the component that's not exactly personal. It's just hardwired evolution. The next step in human evolution, because we're on the cutting edge, Jay. And if you're listening right now, you're on the cutting edge as well. This is the front lines of human evolution. The next step in human evolution is going to be a spiritual evolution. It's going to be recognizing and rewiring those 300,000 years of conditioned worry, conditioned predator, look out, get tense and prepare for battle over and over and over again. So it's only partly personal. So that kind of gives us a little window of grace to begin. It's like, you know what? I'm dealing with something 300,000 years old. Maybe I'm in new territory here. Don't give yourself the hardest time in the world, because everybody does this. Everybody is addicted to negative thinking.
I feel like the snowball, because that's what it is. Because like for me, the snowball begins to, as I get addicted to this, it starts with a small thought. So the fear of losing my job, right?
Sure.
And then from there, I make an assumption that my boss is mad at me. I ask them, I always ask, and they never care. Like they don't really think about me, But these thoughts snowball. Here's what happens. They snowball into mental stories. And each one, bro, gets worse than the last. So now I'm running worst case snowball stories in my head about how I'm going to lose my job. My relationship's going to break apart. My family turns their back on me. Bro, I'll get it. I'll be like, my mom is yelling at me and she's saying this. My kids don't love me anymore. And then next thing you know, I've spiraled down and my body, it just has like so much emotion because I'm experiencing an imagined disaster.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know what the strange thing is? I know that none of these scenarios are real.
Yeah. It's wonderful. I'm right there with you, bro. I'm just as guilty. I have obsessive thoughts all the time. Mine usually is a kneecap. Like, I go straight to the kneecap. Like, this motherfucker, he doesn't know who he's dealing with. This is a complete stranger. Someone in a car that goes in front of me, cuts me off on the highway. It's just energy. It's just energy going in front of me. I don't get mad when rain goes in front of my car. I don't get mad when snow goes in front of my car. Why am I getting mad when another car goes in front of my car? I don't even know this person. And then my brain goes right to the kneecap. It's like, I'm going to kick his kneecap backwards. I'm going to stop at the light, get him out of his vehicle. We're having a throwdown fight right now, and I'm going straight for the kneecap. And like, I'm fighting with this person in my head I'm never going to meet. I'm never going to interact with them ever. It's an itty bitty shitty committee. My head won't shut the fuck up. And then the snowball effect is the energetic response. I start feeling my heart's fucking pounding. I'm getting into anxiety. Let's go further down the rabbit hole with that thought. Okay, well, I'll follow him to his work. What if he has a gun? Better bet your ass I got my gun. And, it can spiral out of control very quickly, especially if we're unconscious.
Yeah.
So our practice with a recovered addict practice, with an expansion practice, is to start catching those thoughts, start catching those negative, addictive thoughts that produce cortisol, that produce adrenaline in my body. And what's really going on is I'm interested in rewiring the addiction. I'm interested in, okay, well, that's not real. I want to tell myself, catch the thought, that's not real. That's adrenaline. That's just adrenaline. That's not fear. That's not a tiger. That's adrenaline. And I start rewiring my neocortex, rewiring the pathways that these thoughts can go down into a new pattern thought. A new pattern thought is, you know what? I'm the aware space for that anger. I'm not anger. What am I? Big breath, invite God in. I'm the aware state for that anger. Bro, on average, let's do the numbers. You know this. We've done this many times on the podcast before. On average, every human being has 60,000 thoughts a day. And, we're addicts. So it's probably more like 70,000.
Yeah.
We're
Lamborghinis.
overachievers, We're overachievers. So the neuroscience tells us 98 to 99% of those 60,000 thoughts are unnecessary and repetitive. It's the same thought. It's the same thought I had yesterday, and it does not serve me. That means what's 2% of 60,000? 1,200. That means I'm having 1,200 positive thoughts and 50,000 negative, aggressive, repetitive thoughts. Do you think I'm going to have a good life with 58,000 repetitive thoughts? Absolutely not. And my life is shit. So it's incumbent upon us to take responsibility for the remaining 58,000 thoughts. It's like that's 58,000 opportunities to create the best life you've ever had. That's 58,000 more opportunities to kill your addiction. That's 58,000 opportunities to align with God, to align with the spirit inside of you that can do the work you're incapable of doing.
That's so good, bro. And for me, like, the truth, when it really hit me the other day, and it like almost like brought me to my knees and understanding this, is that negativity makes me feel powerful. It gives me a narcissistic sense of importance. And the drama, and you mentioned adrenaline, the drama and the adrenaline, the emotional high, it's the same as any addiction.
Yes.
We know this. It starts with a small choice, harmless indulgence, and soon we're hooked on the emotional roller coaster, right? It's the part of us that craves intensity and escapism, and we want to take control of our journey. And I realized that my addiction to these thoughts is just like my food addiction.
Yeah.
It's me seeking comfort in what feels familiar, even when the comfort is pain. Even when I know it's pain. And,
that's profound.
So my own healing journey is that I have to understand it's just a pattern. It's an emotion, like you said, it's an evolutionary psychological pattern. And the first step, so what is the first step? The first step is breaking it. Just as an addict becomes aware of their triggers, I become aware of my emotional triggers. I notice when a negative thought enters my mind and I try to catch it before it takes root. That's the whole key. And you talked about that over and over and over again. The goal isn't to deny myself. And this is something I've had, is like trying to pretend that I'm not having an experience. It's so funny. It's like, oh, there's a tiger chasing me. I'm just going to stand here and pretend like the tiger's not going to eat me. There's a lot of spiritual practices that are this way,
Yeah.
I'm going to pray and the tiger's just going to go away magically, No, you're in the shit. Like, we're in the shit. You can't deny yourself the experience. But I can also decide not to indulge.
Very good. Yeah. Very good.
And I can know that it's unnecessary at this level of my spiritual path to indulge. Do you see what I'm saying? I am allowing that emotion. It's the easiest way to control me now. So my ego's like, okay, motherfucker, you won't do this. You won't do that. You won't go to the McDonald's drive-thrus anymore. You started to do this. You're working out. You're not doing this. So, there's one way I could still control you.
Where else can I slide in here?
I'm going to control you in the fantasies. This is what I call them, the fantasies of fear. I'm addicted to the fantasies of fear. And my mind wants to take those and run with them and be the Picasso of those, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the horror Picasso.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
One.
Anyone that is listening to this podcast, Jason, this goes for you. This definitely goes for me. That was really beautifully said, bro. Like, this isn't beginner recovery stuff. This is like, okay, I've dealt with my initial addiction. Alcohol was literally killing me. Food was literally killing you. We start getting well. We start doing a little spiritual development. We start straightening out mentally, physically, and spiritually. And then it's like there are levels to this. There's an evolution to this recovery process. What's the next step? The next step is the thing that's kicking your ass. Man, the thing that's kicking my ass is my own thought. So it's like there are deeper levels to spiritual awakening. There's deeper levels to healing. really, once we're starting to pay attention to our thoughts, it's like, okay, I'm taking action on that handshake commitment to the universe that I want to
Yes.
feel good all the time. I made a handshake commitment with the universe that I'm going to feel good all the time. What that looks like is 100% responsibility for what's going on in my head. Nobody gets it perfect, but the mere fact that we're starting to look, that we're starting to do something about it, that I'm even willing to admit I have a problem with my thinking, that's a miracle. That's an absolute miracle. Most people, 98% of the planet doesn't get that far. Currently, 98% of the planet says, what's wrong with me is you. You need to change and then I'll be okay. This is such powerful awakening. Because if I take responsibility for my thoughts, Jay, I'm no longer the victim of your bad behavior. I'm no longer the victim of your unconsciousness. There are so many good teachings about this, brother. There are so many good teachings about this. I definitely don't take all of them into action as soon as I should, but you and I have learned some really good ones. Of course, the first one that springs to mind is turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. Now, commonly misunderstood phrase in the Bible, Jesus said, turn the other cheek. The common misperception is, you've insulted me, you've slapped me. Here, slap me again. That's not what that phrase means at all. What Jesus is saying is, I know it's difficult not to look at that negative thing over there, that thing that doesn't serve you over there. I'm asking you not to look at it anyways.
Because it's not real.
It's not real.
There was not a negative thing done.
It doesn't serve you to look at that thing over there. Turn
That's
the
so good.
cheek and direct your attention towards something more useful. Another way to say that, another mantra for us is, just because it's true does not mean it fits my criteria for receiving all my energy. Just because it's true, somebody went in front of me in traffic, that doesn't mean it fits my criteria for giving it all my energy. My energy is too valuable. My energy is placed on high vibration. I literally have to drop levels of vibration to participate in this negative, destructive thing.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. Whenever, and this is what I want to get into, in this back half of this podcast, is kind of these negative addiction, because we always do this. We're really practical. We try to be really practical with people. So, like number one, identify your triggers. This is what you're talking about. Write down specific situations. Here's the thing I knew with my food. And you just said something. I'm going to make a handshake commitment with the universe to feel good all the time. But I can't feel too good or I'm going to fuck myself up again. So for me, one time I was in a relationship and this was really interesting. It was too good. There was too much, I couldn't handle it. So what do I have to do? I went to Payway and I bought a big meal of food. Then I went to meet a friend of mine and I got a big plate of nachos and I drank 8 beers. Then I went to BJ's restaurant and had 3 or 4 more beers. And then I showed up really late drunk because I couldn't handle, and thank God that didn't work out, because of the relationship I have now is amazing and all that. But I'm just telling you, in that moment, I couldn't handle the handshake of it being too good. And a lot of times I think as addicts, I think we're more triggered because we have this, I'm not good enough or whatever it may be. The cycle that kicks in, that first beginning part of the negative cycle, I think it can start the spiral with something that's too good. Oh shit, I just got a new job. The boss actually likes me. I'm used to having this thought that I'm going to get fired any moment. So I can't handle this.
Absolutely.
And I think, and I want you to talk about this. So not only identifying the triggers, but, and I want to dish it off to you here, is practice pattern interrupts. As soon as you catch yourself thinking negatively, because you're so good at this, for me, what I've learned is to do something physical to interrupt. I have to clap my hands or bang on the steering wheel. I have to do something. For me, I'm very physical. So I have to do something physical and say out loud the interruption of the pattern. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, bro. this is one of our very, very practical tools with an expansion development, with recovery addict podcast development. Is of course borrowed from Gay Hendricks, the ULP. So the acronym ULP stands for upper limit problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the upper limit problem exists only in my mind. And what the upper limit problem sounds like is, I don't deserve this much love, abundance, and success. Okay, this is way too good right now. Like, I do not deserve this. There's toxic shame involved. There's toxic guilt involved. And all of those need to be brought up to the surface and dealt with in order to start really healing the wounds of our past, and in order to start really believing that I do deserve a good life. I do deserve to heal. I do deserve to recover. But if I have an unconscious belief that says I don't deserve to feel this good, I will simultaneously, unconsciously, do something to bring myself back down. One time I was on vacation in Florida with my family, and I had never taken my family on a family vacation before, especially to the beach, where we should be playing and having fun. This is way too good. I don't know how to experience this much love, abundance, and success. And I had an ingrown toenail there on vacation. I vividly remember, this is kind of vulgar, but I vividly remember sitting on the balcony of the Airbnb on the beach, digging into my toe, bleeding on the balcony in pain, because I don't know how to handle this much success. What can I do to bring myself down?
That's where studying and stuff like that comes in. Yeah,
absolutely, bro. Like that may fucking sound really far out there to people, but if I'm interested in taking 100% responsibility for what's going on in my life, I also have to take 100% responsibility for how I'm sabotaging the good in my life. So that's on me too.
Good, you're out of control, but picking at your toe, you're in total control.
Yes, that's your original point, which is profound. I'm just going to continue doing what I'm used to, even if what I'm used to is pain.
Yeah.
If what I'm used to is fear. It's easier to stay with the devil I know than to go on a recovery journey and start communicating with the God I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's a very important kind of cracking open in regards to this, starting to analyze my addictive native thinking that needs to take place also. It's like, I don't want to be stuck anymore. Like get used to it, motherfucker. Start getting uncomfortable. If you want to grow, if you want to evolve, if you want to expand, I never knew anybody that was growing, evolving, and expanding when they said, yeah, everything's great. My life is so fucking good right now. Like, we grow and expand through hard shit.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you make precious metal, bro? You make precious metal with fucking pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. One of the things that's real physical, and I want people to do this because this was so good, I've been doing this, is set a timer for negative thinking. Now, this sounds crazy.
Good. Yeah, no, this is good.
So the other day, I'm in my office, I'm going through this. I'm in this thought process. I can't get out of it. So I had thought of this. So I was like, okay, I'm setting the timer for 3 minutes. So I said, hey, Siri, set the timer for 3 minutes on my phone. I brought it physical. I brought it out of my head into something. I started looking at like 2 minutes 58, 2 minutes 57, 2 minutes 56. I started laughing, bro. Because I was like,
it's not long enough.
It made it physical. It made it physical. It's like, these are stupid negative thoughts. And, it gave me, in a weird way, in a positive way, a sense of control. And then because I limited, I'm putting a limit on it now. So, okay, 3 minutes, I can talk to you. But I didn't. I only lasted like 10, 15 seconds. And then I was like, started laughing. And then I was like, you're an idiot, Jason, and blah, blah, blah. But it works. Like in a good way. Yeah. So, but I'm just telling people, like, give yourself 5 minutes, give yourself 3 minutes, set a fucking timer. And then afterwards, when the timer goes off, if you're still thinking and it's bugging you that much, take a deep breath and purposely, as those lanterns, there's a reason in Asian culture where they take the lanterns and they have a practice and they light them and then they let them go.
Yeah.
Consciously take a breath, close your eyes, and then like that lantern, let that all of your thoughts Just a thought.
Very good.
Just let that thought go. And you'll be shocked at how good you feel in that moment.
That's a profound practice, bro.
Yeah, and
That's
I want to get to number 4, setting the timer. But number 4, and I want you to talk about this, is reframing the thought.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I like to challenge the worst case scenario. With that, are positive what ifs. What's a positive what if?
Yeah, I would rather live in the world of positive potential than the world of negative harm and hurt. Potential. However, so to redirect the thought is the second part of the ULP. So the initial part of ULP is that's upper limit problem. So I have to spot the thought. Like I'm gonna get in an argument with my boss and I'm gonna get fired. So there's a crazy thought. I can quickly spot the ULP and then reframe that thinking with just the acronym ULP. It's like, that's the ULP. Just the mere fact of catching it, recognizing. It's like when we go fishing, bro. It's like catch and release. It's like catch the thought and let it go. Catch the thought and let it go. The mere millisecond practice, because I need to be that fast. That's how fucking crazy my thinking is. The millisecond practice of ULP reminds me that's not real. That is a thought designed to bring my vibration down because I don't know how to feel this good. I'm committed to feeling good, so I'm going to release that thought. That happens. That reframe happens in a millisecond. That's how powerful our brains are. Just by reiterating, there's a ULP. And then it becomes comical, just like you said, like with the timer. It's like I catch myself laughing. I'm like, that's a crazy ULP. My son is happy and healthy. Why do I think, what would I do if he died? Like, God, that's a fucking crazy. And it's a good one to laugh about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a good one to laugh about. That's a ULP. That's ULP. And then to take it a step further with the reframing, I sometimes like the practice of, I do deserve this much love, abundance, and success.
Yes.
I do deserve this much love, abundance, and success. So that's my response to the ULP. It's like, that's a ULP. I do deserve this much love, abundance, and success. I do deserve this much love, abundance, and success. So it's a reframing. I know that we're going to get into mantras a little later, but that's one of the tools.
That's the next step.
That's one of the reframing for me is, okay, how do you reframe that bad thought? Good, excellent practice is the breath, just like you said with the letting go. So that's ULP. Big breath. I know that the undercurrent, the reason for that big breath for me is to invite God in. It's like I'm inviting God into the situation. The part of me that's committed to taking responsibility, the part of me that's transcendent and can handle anything that comes his way because he's eternal. So I'm inviting that in. And then reframing the thought with a positive affirmation, with a positive mantra, with something that resonates for me. It has to resonate for the individual. I do deserve this much love, abundance, and success. I do deserve this much love, abundance, and success. Thank you, God, for this moment. Thank you, God, for this moment. Thank you, God, for this moment. If I'm committed to having more positive thoughts a day, those mantras are thoughts. Those mantras are prayers. That's me 100%. Getting those numbers up.
Yeah, so you may have to say it. I've been saying I choose peace.
Powerful, bro. That's so powerful.
I choose peace. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to have this conversation. I choose peace.
Guys, if you knew where Jason came from and what he's done in his life to get where he's at now, this man should be a monster. You should be a monster, bro. And you're not.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
To go from the Marine that you were, to go from the experiences that you had in the U.S. military, to go from homeless to where you are today, to that being your creed, bro. Your creed is I choose peace.
I know.
You have evolved your entire life.
We know this.
Yes, we're supposed to be dead. It's so powerful to hear that coming out of your mouth because I know where you came from, and that's what's available for everyone listening.
But it feels good when I say it.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I feel like I need to get over on something, or why do I feel like this person's getting over on me? What if I just choose peace?
It's so powerful.
And nothing can happen to me. Jesus taught that,
Yeah.
What does peace look like in my life? I don't know, but let's try it. I've tried all the other bullshit.
One time, I will say, I was present enough. I was working at a restaurant, and I had 4 women at a table that were like harassing me, giving me a hard time. Go
Sexually
get your
or mentally?
manager. No, I was. They had taken a table that was
Dwayne's very
reserved,
attractive, guys. He has like
and I was trying to get
abs
him
and
out of
shit.
there.
So,
I was trying to remove these ladies, and they wouldn't leave. Anyways, they were like, "Go get your manager." Like, so it was a valid scenario of, "Oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble."
Trigger. Yeah.
And it's only been this one time, but I'm glad that it happened. The mantra that came into my head was, "You cannot persecute me. You cannot persecute me." Like Jesus on the cross was not being persecuted. He was in it for the resurrection. He was already knew it would be rebirth. And if I'm connected to eternal life, you cannot persecute. Like there's nothing you can do to me that will really hurt, because I'm
like
connected to
Abraham
infinite
with the
source.
sword above Isaiah.
Yes.
Isaac, he's got the sword. It's his son. And he's fixing to put that sword into his.
Yeah. And we don't want to take a literal, interpretation. The metaphorical interpretation is that's what every father's called to do. Every father's called to say, go into the world. I give you to the world. I sacrifice you to the world. That's what good
just a
parents
representation
do.
of God and Jesus.
Yes,
You know, the Trinity.
It's like you. I'm not being sacrificed. This is me willingly giving myself to the world. And
it's also for me that story
persecute me.
Is super powerful because it's not looking at the circumstance, not putting myself first, but thy will be done.
Yes. So I did that mini prayer. You cannot persecute me. My manager came in and I laid down the scenario. He was like, "Get him the fuck out of here." And he walked over to the table and he had my back and he kicked these ladies out. Like it totally worked. I did not get in trouble.
That's so great, bro. And you know, for all of us, we have to understand as narcissists, addicts are narcissistic.
Yeah.
So, you know, like your statement that you say all the time is, "I'm not much, but it's all I think about," you know? And it's such a great statement because I think about that. It's like, oh, yeah, this is just an excuse to think about myself over and over and over again. When I say I choose peace, that's allowing higher self to come up and ego to go away. Because I don't have the opportunity. My mind wants to go into scenarios of why this person's fucking me over or this. I'm always thinking somebody's fucking me over my whole life.
Yes.
Like ever since I was a kid, because we were raised really poor, everything like the man's fucking you over, like anything you do in life, you're going to get fucked over. You're going to work really hard. They're going to jick your paycheck, you know, like all these things it was always every woman I had, any relationship I've been in, their business, whatever it may be, they're going to fuck you over. You know, and when you're running in that scenario, that's addict, bro. That's all addict.
Yeah. Addictive thinking. Yep.
I gotta get mine because if I don't get mine, they're gonna fuck me over, you know. And let me drink all this whole bottle because somebody's gonna take the bottle. So I need it all, you know. It's the same damn thing. But I want to get into, you know, closing this out. I want to get into something I think is really important that a lot of people don't understand, and that's their environment, and that's limiting exposure to triggers. What triggers you? Is it social media? Is it the news? You're super left or you're super right. You know, is it people? And I think a lot of family feel negative thinking.
Sure.
We can take a break from things. You know, we don't have to be in the shit. We don't have to allow the trigger to be all the time in us. We can protect our mental space just as we would protect our physical health. Why are we so quick to protect our physical health, but we're not quick to protect our mental health?
Very powerful, brother. One of my favorite practices with the environment, and it does go for the emotional as well, but again, another mantra is, I don't swim in that shit.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Boom. I don't swim in that shit. And I even put my hand up, like I put my hand up for the physical boundary. It's like, no, I don't swim in that shit. And I don't have to say that out loud to my family members. I don't have to say that out loud to my coworkers, but I can have my hand up and I can know, because there's a physical action. I can know what I'm saying in my mind. The mantra in my mind is, I don't swim in that shit. It's a physical representation of that's too low vibration for me. I'm removing
Yes.
myself. I'm removing myself from this situation because that vibration is too low for me. I exist at a higher level.
I love
You're
that.
at where you're at. It's all good, but I don't swim in that shit.
Mhm,
I don't swim
mhm.
in that shit. I don't swim in that shit. That's how I walk through a restaurant left and right.
That's so good, bro.
And
You feel
part of
go
it,
ahead.
but part of it is also it's good too to just like, especially for the addict, let's be honest, some scenarios are like, it's absolute abstinence. It's like, I do not go there. No, thank you. Like, I'm not really interested in testing the waters and hanging out in a crack house. Let's just see how that goes for Duane. It's like, no, it's absolute abstinence. I'm not going in. So you also need to just use discernment, be wise. Don't put yourself in risky situations. Again, my vibe, my energy, it's too valuable. I'm not willing to sacrifice that for anybody.
Yeah, I love that, bro. And I want to get into the next one. This is right up your alley. You're gonna love this one. So we had a whole podcast, and our shorts went viral on YouTube talking about addicts are Ferraris. And what we were saying is in that one is we're entrepreneurs. There's a reason God made us more high RPM in our brain.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You take a Ferrari on a track, you work it out. Car wants that. It loves that. So guess what? When you have mental fucking unbalanced state of mind, how do you balance out a Ferrari? You engage in physical activity.
Oh, yes.
Even if it's a fucking walk. Go. I'm telling you, as an addict, this is your superpower. If you will go for a walk, or if you could run, go for a run, or go to the gym, that alone, the key to balancing you out is releasing endorphins as an addict.
Very
To
powerful.
me, it's on the top 3-4 things that you need to do as an addict. You have to release endorphins. Endorphins get people pumped up, regular people. Addicts, it brings us to a balance.
I love that you refer to this as a superpower.
It's a superpower,
I agree 1,000%,
bro. You know
brother.
this 100%.
And I know this from my own experience. I got sober running in the woods, reciting mantras. Like I would say over and over again, God fill my heart with forgiveness. God fill my heart with forgiveness. God fill my heart with forgiveness. I was trying to forgive myself. I was trying to forgive the woman that was having the baby. I was trying to forgive the situation. I was trying to forgive all the 20 years of past and wreckage. And something started to shift molecularly just because of the movements. And I've actually built a business dedicated to this exact practice. What's taking place when we exercise is our blood cells literally expand. It's called vasodilation. We prepare for battle. It's like we enter fight or flight, our blood cells expand, we can carry more micronutrients to the muscle tissue doing the work. So because our blood cells expand, that means I literally have more surface area available to receive new information.
Yes.
What's the new information? God relieve me of this obsession. God relieve me of this obsession. God fill my heart with forgiveness. God fill my heart. Take your mantras into the gym. Take your mantras along the walk. The first thing I do every single morning, still to this day, is I get up, I get on my stationary bike, and I have mantras in my ears. Thank you, God, for this moment. I'm doing cardio with my prayers. So the physical aspect is so important. In addition to what you said, Jake, the endorphin. It's like I'm getting a healthy high. I'm feeling good about the man I am. I already did something by 7 a.m. that I can be proud of. How many people can say that? How many people can say that? I used to wake up ashamed, and now I wake up proud of myself.
Yeah,
and it's action and repetition.
I do 30 minutes of cardio every morning, and I watch Stop with the TV in front of me. And I'm earning money, making money, understanding money. I'm not living in scarcity. I'm living in abundance, So and I'm starting off before 7 a.m. like you. I'm starting off super early in the morning. But I really want people to understand this. You're not normal as an addict. You have to understand the negative thoughts, like you said, are way higher than normal people.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to bring those down, that's an easy way to bring those down, is releasing the endorphin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
you cannot leave a gym and be depressed.
We're just creatures of addict, Jay. We're just creatures of extreme.
Yes.
It's like I got two speeds. I'm all or nothing. Which one you want? So when we enter a physical practice, we find it works really well for our personality. We're high in conscientiousness. I like getting shit done. I like being active. I like doing things. And it feels good because I recognize myself on the way to a desired goal. And
Yes, 100%.
that's the
Yes.
major sense of joy, the major sense of endorphins that are released in human beings that are non-substance related. That comes from seeing myself on the path I want to be on.
And the path is easy once you understand that the negative thoughts are what's causing it not to feel easy. But like for you, you just hop on the bike in the morning. You know what I mean? It's not
It's
hard for
routine
you.
now. No, it's routine now. But taking responsibility for those negative thoughts is where it begins.
And the last one, I want us to be done after this one. And I want you to talk about this one as seeking accountability. Sharing our goals, breaking through from negative thinking. Maybe it's with a trusted friend. Maybe it's with a therapist. Maybe it's in your addiction group, whatever group that you're in. Have someone or somebody or a group of people check in on you, because a lot of times they can help you be committed to your practice. They can give you that extra motivation you need. How important was to you, Duane? Let's close in this. How important was it to you to have a group of solid people around you to help you?
It's one of the top 5 things that we'll ever do in recovery ever. And it's the short version is do not isolate.
Mm.
When I isolate myself, it's easy to participate in my bad behavior. It's easy to turn a blind eye to the things I know I shouldn't be doing, but I'm doing them anyway. So the accountability piece is so powerful because I want to surround myself with people that will call me on my shit, with people that will say, hey, haven't seen you in a couple days. How are you doing? Hey, how's the mantra practice going? Are you improving? Hey, just checking in on you. What's up? You know what I mean? That accountability goes so far because I know that I'm not in this fight alone.
That's so good, bro. That's
and then
awesome.
God willing, it starts to expand. And it's like, you know what? I'm not getting well alone either. I'm with people on a similar path. We're heading in the same direction here. And that same direction, that similar path, that unifies us. And in that unity, we're very fucking strong. We're very strong because we have like-minded goals and a like-minded direction. And that makes me more powerful.
Yeah, and there's also there's not an air of I'm better than you. You kind of have that bond of addiction that everybody's struggling through. They just may have more years than you. I mean, even you now, Duane, like it's 14 years or whatever now, and you go to meetings.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there to be of service, not because I've graduated, but because maybe I could help somebody else.
That's so awesome.
And that's what we do. That's how you get well. You don't get well alone in a dark room. You get well out there in the world trying to be the best version of yourself. And man, when I put myself out there, it's like I found people doing the same thing.
Amazing. Imagine that.
Yeah, can you believe it? Oh, I think Jay and I have been doing this for years now.
Yes, exactly. Same situation. It's like, you got this, you got this. Oh, you got iron sharpens iron,
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's cool. Well, thanks. We're at the hour here. I appreciate you being so open, Duane. That's something that you taught me to be more of. I got that Marine, like just everything. And so being able to share with those that you love and help, that's something that I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, they were talking about the suicide rate and the loneliness and, what's going on now in society. And so I feel like one of the things that you're really good about is being super open. And I think, and I want to tie it back to what you said, is every week when you go to meetings and you speak and you have to be humble and you have to talk and you have to be open and it's kind of put out there, repetition. Now it's easy for you to be open. That's one of the hardest things for people to do, is be open about how they're feeling, their emotions and where they're at, in honesty. So I think that's why it's so important. We put that every time. It's not just the podcast. It's not just, our courses. It's not just this, like don't be in isolation. Like Duane said, get out, find a meeting, whatever meeting that is works for you. Maybe it's a church group, whatever it may be, get out there and you can send us a DM. We get DMs all the time. I send some to Duane sometimes.
Yeah, those are very powerful.
Yeah, they're very powerful. The other day I got a great one. I got to send that one to you when I get some time, but appreciate that. DM us more. We love it. We'll respond to you. May take us a few days or whatever, but we'll make sure that we get and we respond to all of you guys. Unless you guys say some dumb shit. Sometimes we get some idiots on there, but
Yeah, it's just too low
Yeah, I'm just like,
vibration. We
yeah, if
turn the
it's
other cheek.
sarcastic and funny, I'm all in, you know. If you can be sarcastic and funny, but if you're like just disagreeing, what and can I just say this one thing? We're not gonna answer you if it's Jesus is Lord, if he's the only one. Repent of your sins. You know, your podcast is blasphemy. You know, you're of Satan. You're wasting your time. Don't even fill that stuff out. We don't have a part of that.
I had so much fun with Satan, they kicked me out.
Exactly. It's not. You gotta have. It's the yin and the yang, the black and the white.
Yes,
Part of.
yes.
There's much snake in me as there is angel.
Very
know,
good. Absolutely.
Well,
And in
cool.
every human being. You guys aren't alone.
Exactly.